Yo, what's up? This is Pat. Today is December 5th, 20,000, 2018. Time for me to go to bed. Um, as you guys know, it's difficult. It's difficult to sleep sometimes. Uh, I guess just the mind fuck that comes along with this program it's just, I try not to dwell on it. It is what it is. There's nothing, you know. Some days are good, some days are really bad, some days are really, I don't even know why I'm making these videos. I don't know if they're to make me feel better, to help people, just to give some insight. I wish I could sit here and say that this is going to stop what's coming, wake people up, but I mean, there's been plenty of people with status that this shit's happened to, and nothing gets done. It's all in plain sight. I never noticed anything different. I was, if the Eagles lost a football game, that's what I consider like a bad day. That was my life. However, this shit in 6 months took me from like entrepreneur, happy-go-lucky dude to just a downward spiral, man. Like, you can't believe. Any targeted individuals out there that are watching this, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They probably the same exact tactics were used. And to the people that aren't TIs, that are just listening to this, and don't believe it. That's like the point of the program, is for nobody to believe you. It sort of mimics schizophrenia, because some of the things they do is like supernatural, and it's all through this AI technology. I mean, that's for some other video. I don't think by explaining it to someone that's not a target, they won't get it. They just won't. You can't fathom something so incomprehensible. So if I had any proof, I mean, and I've noticed that too. Like, no matter how much evidence you show somebody, they could be your closest friend. They could be. It doesn't matter. I have one person that sent me like love. She's been a friend a long time, but she has a son that is autistic, and she blames vaccinations. So she sent her on a crusade to expose how the vaccinations are poisonous, basically, and gave her son autism. And she never forgave. She doesn't forgive herself for taking her to a doctor that would do that. I just told her everything on a message probably about a year ago, and like, expected, I didn't get any reply. Like, I don't know if it's because people don't know what to say, or they're just scared, or they just think you're insane. But nonetheless, like, why? What could I gain from making this shit up? Like, everything that's happened to me, and this is more for like, I guess, if people, my local yokels, people that know me my whole life that haven't seen me in a while, wondering what happened to me. Well, this is what happened, you know. So look at it like, I always wanted a purpose in life, and I did this and did that, but I always felt like something was missing, like something great was going to come to me. 43 was the age I always said it would. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I was always fascinated with World War II. I also was fascinated with Adolf Hitler, and not because he was a mass murderer, and I get that, but what was appealing to me about him was just how demonized we made him. Always, every show was just the evilest guy. Well, he wasn't the most evil man in history. There was plenty more, including Joseph Stalin, but because he was our ally, it's okay that he killed women and children, because he was our friend. So, I mean, just things like that, like, now that I think about it, and it just goes to show you, a lot of the shit that we've been told are just straight up fabricated lies. They spin the narrative to make them look like the good guy. Don't get me wrong, I love the United States of America. The United States of America is the best country on the planet Earth. It used to be. It's not anymore. I don't know if there is such a thing. Excuse me. So it's a quote from a famous speech, and I just think it really pertains to now, even though it was written 60 years ago. And he was directing this towards the media and the press and the public. Quote, "If you are awaiting a finding of clear and present danger, then I can only say that danger has never been more clear, and its presence has never been more imminent." That was JFK Secret Society speech, and that is just one, like, I think that just puts it in a nutshell that we need to spread to people, because this shit is really happening, and that is depressing in itself. When you are in your own country and there's nowhere for you to go for help, because it leads you down this rabbit hole, and it shows you that how deep. Like, for example, there was a show a couple years ago on HBO called True Detective, with Matthew McConaughey, I believe, and Woody Harrelson. And that's when I used to still watch TV, and I remember how they just kept. It was a great show, the first season, and the rabbit hole just kept getting deeper, and there was missing kids and pedophilia, and then they kept he kept searching and searching and searching, and it just kept leading him deeper and deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole, which eventually led him to the same people that were running the actual town, the prominent politicians and stuff that were behind the murders. And I swear, I think they make these shows to give people like little hints of see how stupid we are, because is the same thing going on here. A lot of their movies, that's like what they call it, predictive programming, where it's kind of like puts it in your head subconsciously that, so when you find these things out, it's not such a traumatic, shocking thing to find out. Oh, my back. There was another. There was another quote I wanted to read, and it goes like this: "The illusion of freedom will continue as long as it's profitable to continue. When the illusion becomes too expensive to maintain, or they're no longer able to hide the truth, that is when they will take down the scenery, move the tables, and move the tables and the chairs out of the way. They will show you to the back of the theater, and then they will pull back the curtain, and then only then will you see behind the curtain there's nothing but a brick wall." And that was by Frank Zappa, musician, 70s, 80s. He said that in an interview, and they also asked him something about what country did he fear the most, and he said we have the most advanced, technologically advanced, powerful military in the world. The only thing we have to fear is our own government. Like, some people get it, some people know, and some and this isn't nothing to knock. A lot of my friends are veterans. Nothing to knock the military. This is so compartmentalized. Like, that's the thing. Like, this thing is so many layers to it that you don't know who exactly is behind what part of it, and who knows what. And like, does every person that goes and becomes a part of this citizen spy program, do they know as much as I know? I doubt it. Do they get shown the underground tunnels underneath Walmart? I doubt it. Are they told, like, hey, listen, we're going to use this. This is a military command post. We have tunnels underground. You guys can use them. This could be used as as a FEMA camp to trick people into coming here, because they're not going to have anywhere else to go, and then we tricked them. I mean, all of these things, they say history repeats itself. Most of all of these things, from knowing a lot about World War II, these things have already been done. For example, how Hitler took complete power from chancellor to dictator was create a false flag event. And a false flag is something that people create, the instigator or what have you creates the problem to trick the people into getting their support, and this way they can go ahead and get their agenda pushed through quicker. And we have them all the time in America. Like, most of the school shootings and shit is false flags. Um, their goal is to just take away our they just want to wipe their ass with the Constitution. Anything in the Constitution, they fear. You know, they don't want it. Oh, before I forget what I started saying, if I had any proof that you can actually for yourself on these videos. So on the one, I think one of the first videos, and I'm sorry if my videos suck. This is new to me. This is like a long 2 years I've been putting up with this shit, and never went public with any of it because, you know, I was just, to be honest, I was hoping it stopped, went away, and I may pretend shit never happened and just move on with my life. But we all know that this is the ship's already sailed, and there's no off. You know, there's only one way off, and that's down. You know, that's down. And I don't like to create, like, be a, what do you call it, porn fear, or fear of porn, or like to scare people. It's not my intentions. It's more to prepare people. Like, I mean, I'm not prepared. I don't know how to survive, and I'm from the city. I don't have a survival kit. I don't have a plan. When this shit hits the wall, I just know this. I'm not going peacefully. These guys aren't just arresting me for no fucking reason and torturing me any more than I've been tortured. So it's a heads up. When they impose martial law, any UTIs, man, don't let them take you. Don't let them trick you, because not even TIs, anybody. Like, this is you guys gotta really understand the magnitude of this thing that we're telling you about. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's real. It's very real. My friend that believes me, that's not a TI, she told me to watch this guy called Pastor Greg Locke. Just check him out on YouTube. And he has it's like a 12-part series on the Book of Revelation. Because the Book of Revelation is scary. Let's be honest. It's you know, it's about 2,000 years ago. Some guy, Apostle John, I think, the Word of God, and it's prophesizing before our very eyes. Like, it really is. I mean, you can't deny it. You can only assume that it's going to be played out, and I think, to a T. Let's just hope that it all comes true. The good, the bad, and the ugly, because the bottom line is we win. Jesus returns, and these people get their day. They have their day in the sun, but not for long. Just like when Rome was the most technologically advanced civilization. They had running water on every street corner, the aqueducts, and then they had the bathhouses, and every citizen, no matter your status, could get a bath and clean water and drink clean water, which is a huge thing back then. They had famines all the time. But greed corrupt men started running, became emperors, and slowly but surely they ran it into the ground until the Vikings came and conquered them, destroyed the aqueducts, destroyed all of Rome, and it took them 600 years, I think, to figure that out, how to do it again. And that's right after that is right after Rome got conquered, was started the Dark Ages, and they said if you were born within that 600 years, you wish you hadn't been born, because that's how terrible it was. So anyway, on my videos, the first one I made is called Targeted Individual. I'm sitting on a rock pile outside, and it's targeted individual, 58 seconds. Put on earphones, okay? Put on earphones and just listen to how it changes at 58 seconds. That's called your phone's being intercepted. That's what that's called. I didn't notice it while I was doing it. However, I've had 10 cell phones. I actually found a cell phone graveyard tonight. These were both. That was hacked. This was hacked, like to where it don't have sound. Like I don't know how they do it, but they fuck them up. I mean, this one they're in, but for some reason they let me have it. I don't know why they do the things they do. There's a lot of things I don't know. Just guessing. Like, how did I even get put up by me? I mean, I could look at it two ways. Like, if I was just a sheeple, living my life, living a great life, would it be any better when this shit hits the fan? Because then you got to go through everything I'm going through now, even worse. I mean, like, us TIs, we've been suffering, man. This is you gotta look at it like we're on the front lines of a war, like, that's coming to us. And whether you believe it or not, it's coming to you all. And whether you think you're part of this new world order, I'd beg to differ. Their plan is to populate down to some ridiculously low number, and I highly doubt if it includes like half the scumbags that they get to join in on this harassment. This derelicts, dude. Like it's pathetic, actually, what they get these people to do. But it's all about that paper. I guess they get bribed. I mean, I know they give gift cards. I called somebody with gift cards plenty of times, lots of them. Where I live, the shopping center, that's where like a lot of them meet up on the low. They probably go underground. The little cult goes underground beneath Walmart. They do their fucking satanic shit. But anyway, targeted individual video at 58 seconds. Just listen to the difference. It sounds like I am underwater. I didn't do nothing. And then my other video is which one was that? I think it's Trading Places. A minute and 47 seconds. Trading Places, 1 minute and 47 seconds. Just listen. Like, put headphones in. Listen to the transition, how it changes. It's creepy. And usually right around then I notice like a plane, you know what I mean, one of the spy planes. Last thing, I don't want to keep this too long. I watched this woman, and she did an extensive thing on Walmart and how they're used as military command posts and what have you. But she went to this seminar, and the guy giving it asked the audience. He said, "What is the most dangerous item that you have in your household? Most dangerous item." She was thinking um, machete. Do I have any machetes, switchblades, guns, mace, whatever? Like of she was thinking of things that are really dangerous. So the answer was the Lazy Boy recliner. No one quite understood, and he went on to say, because that's where you're most comfortable at. Your life, you're just comfortable, and you work, you come home, you eat dinner, you get a shower, what have you, you go sit on that Lazy Boy, pop it back, and you watch TV, and you're just comfortable. Like, that's probably, to be honest, I miss that. Those days. They don't exist for me anymore. There's no television, there's no Lazy Boy, my mind never stops. And how can it? It's like someone gave you this knowledge that you didn't ask for, and it involves all of humanity and every living and breathing thing on the planet, not even, let alone your children and your people you love and your friends, like this, how this is going to affect people, everyone. So he says, while you are comfortable watching TV and watching shows and being distracted, programmed, hence the word programming, the number one show is Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I mean, it just goes to show you how ignorant our society is, man. Like, and then if you do want to see what's going on in the world, which most people don't because it's depressing, but you put on CNN and they just it's all propaganda and lies. CNN, Fox News, CNBC, all of them, it's all, they only tell you what they want you to know. I mean, it might not be all lies, but they just tell you what you should know, what they think you should know. So this guy at the seminar said that while you're in your Lazy Boy watching TV all night, and then you usually fall asleep with the TV on, and you wake up, the TV's still on, and then you repeat the same process every day. And while you're doing that, there is a vast, monolithic conspiracy going on. They're working 24/7. 24/7, around the clock, above you and below you. You have no idea. They will not warn you. There's not going to be a warning. There's not going to be alarms, and there isn't going to be an emergency broadcast system and them telling us that this, the New World Order is coming for you, because they're not Illuminati or what have you. They're not. There's no warning, man. They're coming up from underground, and they can arrest any of us with no warrant, no reason, just because they want to, because of the Patriot Act or what have you. We don't have the constitutional rights. We aren't, this is where we're at, and there's really nowhere to hide because they know they can track you. Every single solitary person in this country, they can find that. I'm positive of it. And when they start the 5G, if they implement that 5G, I mean, that's a weapon system. That's not a. That's. I mean, yeah, your phone's going to go 100 times faster, but I mean, come on, like, there's all anything that there's a really good upbeat side to. There's usually, like a great drug usually has some bad side effects on people, and then this is no different. Um, so I just thought that was interesting thing to look at. So anybody who does watch this, if I just struck a little interest, and don't be scared, man. Let's look into it. Like, what's going to happen is going to happen. Why not be prepared? Why not maybe make a difference? And tell people that you love. Tell them you love them, because you never know. You just never know. I don't. I sometimes said to myself that, and this hurts to say, but those days where I wish that I'd have, died in an accident, like the day, like before this affliction and heartache and heartbreak and torture and oppression. It's just sad that, like, this day and age, like, there's no like there's no good men out there that have the balls to stand up to these fucking psychopaths that are, they're changing our schools, like they're changing, it's just everything, it's like, and, I feel that, like, our kids, man, like, I mean, we all read about, like, Anne Frank and the Holocaust and stuff. Like, that's essentially what's coming to us, World War III, there's going to be some big ass catastrophe probably, I don't know, or another false flag event, something like a 9/11, something, there's going to be something major, because I think they're ready, and it's just, just find your faith, pray to God, and that he comes and pray for a miracle, because this is clear and present danger, man. I mean, I'm just waiting for that day. And until then, I try to live life. I mean, it's not much of a life anymore, but I try to be a good dad, and I try to tell the people that I love them, and even the ones that have turned against me, I still love them. It's not. I understand what you're up against. I do. They beat you into submission. I mean, you can't fight it. However, one last story I thought was interesting. I was listening to a guy, a religious guy, and the story of David versus Goliath in the Bible. And, David beat Goliath, and even though he was this huge underdog, but, like, everything else, maybe it wasn't what we thought. So, Goliath was really big, and David was really small, right? So, but they weren't going there to fist fight. And so, right there, you're like, Goliath is a little slower on his feet. Obviously, he's a giant. And David's, even though he's just like a sheep guy or sheep herder or what have you, just some little farmer, but he carried a slingshot, which these slingshots back then, if they hit you in the head, I mean, it'd kill you. And it's like a gun. Well, Goliath essentially brought a knife to a gunfight. And David just makes sense now. So now it doesn't seem like the underdog won and it was a miracle. No, I mean, I think that it's like one of those things where you have to think, you have to think about things objectively and, just use your brain and try to figure things out and the meaning behind them. So anyway, that's all. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. And I hope if this helps anybody. Any questions or anything about anything, hit me up. Peace.